Hi there and welcome to a new video in which, as you can see, of course, we are in Godot 4.4, okay, in which, as you can see, one of the main features was basically implementing this new game tab, okay. So in this specific video I want to discuss what is this tab and all the features that it comes with it, because I know that probably you know the basics of it, but there is more, okay, to just those basics, okay. So now, whenever you play a new project or game, you're going to be having this option by default, okay? So in this game, okay, this is a Kenny template, okay? So it's going to allow us to quickly use this option. So what you have to know is that you are going to be having different options, okay? Right now, I don't see the mouse cursor because, well, of how the game is set up, but if not, you should be able to have the cursor, okay, moving around. So let me try to actually make it visible, but well, I am not able to do so. There, if I press escape here, I have it. So first of all, we can, with this button, pause the game. Well, let's actually try to see to something that moves around, okay, there, to that robot. So escape, okay, and here I'm going to be able to see it. So there you go. And then you also have this button to just move frame by frame. This is something quite useful for when you want to take a look at some kind of a specific interaction. For example, an animation, if it is being played correctly at the exact time that you want, if there is basically anything that has to be quite precise, or you're not able to see why or when an error is happening. So this can also help you actually go to a frame in which the error is happening. Then for the second, let's say, section, we have the different modes. So we have the input mode, which is the default one, that this will basically react to the input, okay, of the keyboard, of the mouse, etc. And then the other mode is for 2D and a control node, which means that if we select this, we are able to select control node. So for example, this 20, we should be able to select it. There we go. Or if we had 2D node, we would also be able to select it. Now, even if we are in this mode, okay, as you can see, and we try to move around, we are not able to do so. Only in this case, the game does continue being executed because, as you can see, things are still moving around, but we can only move around with the game input if we are on the input mode, as you can see. And in the 3D mode, well, we can select anything related to 3D. So let's, for example, select this floor, and as you can see, it's been selected. You can select this thing, this other thing, this robot, even wherever, okay? Then this other eye will determine whether or not we see the orange box. And then we have the selection mode. We can use the normal select mode or the show list of selectable nodes at position clicked. So this is, for example, if we go to a remote tab, we can see that the enemies have lots of things. So we can change to this mode, press again, and as you can see, now we have the possibility of selecting the different components of what we have clicked. We have the collision shape that is right over there. We also have the enemy flying 3, which is the root node itself, and we also have the torso, okay, which is, I believe, something inside of here, okay, right there. So these are the things that we can select. We don't have, for example, the raycast or the sprites because are things that are not selectable right now. So that's just for you to know, because maybe you want to modify some specific property of this node. So for example, I want to grab the collision shape, and in this mode it's mostly impossible to grab the exact collision shape. Or well, here I am actually in the collision shape, but if I wanted to grab, what other thing do I have here? I wanted to grab the torso. How do I do it with a normal select mode? It is mostly impossible, I believe. So with this one, we select here torso, and as you can see, now here I have selected the torso, and I can also see it in the inspector. Because of course, what this allows you to do is to do whatever you want with it. So you can, for example, modify the position. So let's put it in 0.5, so it's going to be kind of divided. Okay, there you see it. So you can basically modify stuff as the game is being executed. So that's basically the main advantage of this. So there you have it. Then you also have this thing of override the original camera. In a way, I'm not getting the tooltips right now. There we go. Override the in-game camera. I don't really know what this option is for, and there are actually like some options that I am not able to actually know what they do. I have been trying to research, like here, game tab, go to docs, and I have not been able to find any kind of documentation. Even here in the docs, if you look for game tab or something like that, you're not going to be able to find any information. As far as I have researched, if you do have like even more information about these tiny options, please let me know so that we also check them out. But well, this is what I was able to find. Okay, I also have here these other things: manipulate in game, manipulate from editors, which is other thing that I was not able to spot what the change was. And last we have the stretching settings. Okay, so we have basically this one, which is embedded game size is based on project settings. So if this is the option, if the window is shrink, for example, the aspect is going to be kept basically. There you go. So as you can see, everything is scaled down. If this is the one, it's going to keep the aspect ratio, which is the exact same one. So then we'll actually try to see a difference between these two, and this one will basically expand. Okay, so it is not going to keep the same aspect ratio. It is just going to try to fill up the space. And lastly, in these three dots, we have the options to either embed the game on the next place or make the game workspace floating. So by default, it is floating. This means that it's floating. That is just a separate window, okay? Whereas embedded is right over here. Like in embedded, there isn't an explanation for that verb, or well, adjective actually. So we can just see. So let's disable floating, okay? And when we play again, we're just going to be seen here, like integrated. That could be maybe a synonym. So there you see it over here. This option I believe is much better because what you're able to do is to select, okay, for example, select the robot, and you directly find the different properties over here, and you can directly modify them without having to I don't know, to having to close the window, open it back again, or whatever. I'm not able to here modify the rotation, but maybe the position. Yes, kind of. Okay, you can kind of see it, or maybe the platform. This is much easier. So let's get here this platform and let's move it or rotate it or whatever, and there we should have it. But maybe it is not changing what we know. I don't want the collision, I want the actual platform, or here the mesh. So let's grab it and let's, I don't know, modify the rotation. There you can see it. So I believe this option is much better. And now what these two, okay, which are the differences? Because well, right here we don't see it. So basically this one will automatically kind of simulate the keep aspect option, and this one, as you can see, it reacts in the exact same way. It is kind of just keeping the aspect, okay? I don't really spot any differences between the two. There is no documentation about it, so unfortunately I'm not able to tell you a lot of things, but as you can see, how they keep the aspect is the exact same thing. So once again, if you know or have a different example in which you are able to spot the differences between these last two options, well, just let me know. But once again, these are just details. The most important things I have already described, and you were able to understand these different options. So that is the actual key of this. Now, if you do want to learn Godot the right way in less than 6 hours, I recommend that you buy my Godot game development course, available in the description down below. I don't have control over the price at which this is sold because it's managed by the platform itself. So right now, for example, it's just at $10, but this is limited because the original price is $44. Once again, completely managed by the platform. But using the coupon code that I'm going to be leaving you in the description down below, actually in the link of the description down below, that will automatically apply a huge discount code, you're going to always be able to get this course for something like 12-13 bucks, okay? In spite of what is the original Udemy price, if there is already a discount or whatever, well, you can get to use that code. So well, I will see you inside of this course.